Okay, well, good morning everyone. I'm gonna make a build on Diablo fans and make a video after this and show you how to be efficient to farm keys for season 12. Nothing really changed since season 5 or 6. I've been playing this build since a long time, but there were some changes thanks to the great the great Diablo developers. So I'm gonna show you first of all the gear, then we will go to the skills, and then I will farm some rift just to show you how to play it. First of all, the gear. So from my point of view, the loan is still above everything, but we will go here with the Sunwoku gear since it's really easy to gear up. So basically everything, this is nothing new, like shoulders, gloves, chest, pants and the amulet are the same. Weapons are the same. You need Ingeum anyway. You need Vengeful, because the more stacks you have, the more DPS you do. I choose to play with Crude's Boost, since you can have more Mystically, thanks to that. The only change you can make now is get the gold wrap. And of course the 2 rings. Avarice Bond, mandatory. Like anyone who is not playing with Avarice is basically either stupid or doesn't have any clue about the game. And the other option, this one is quite hard to get. I don't have a good one. But you need to play with the Stone of Jordan. You will one-shot all the trash, and on what you need DPS are the elites. And what will bring you the most DPS? The Stone of Jordan. That's TD DPS, since you're gonna have fire skill damage, increase damage against elites. The only other option you could put is play with a COE, a Convention of Elements, but you will only make a great DPS on fire proc. Since you have 5 schools of magic, Stone of Jordan is better overall to have a steady DPS. What you want as a stat is fire, damage against elites up to 30%, and crit, but I don't have one. This one is quite shit, but I have nothing else, so just to show you. That's the same here. I explained everything on the Diablo fan builds, but you want an amulet with crit damage, and fire. I don't have one, but that's what you want. Same on the Pintos, crit and fire damage. Otherwise, that's area damage. You even want attack speed. I explained this on the build, but you want attack speed everywhere. The more attack speed you have, the faster you will be. The more attack speed you have, the faster you will be able to dash. This is not about DPS here. This is about being fast. So the more attack speed you have, the faster you are, and the faster you will move between packs. That's the only thing which is important. So if anyone is saying blah blah blah, you should get Quicksilver here, he's a fucking retard. You should get Radiance. More attack speed, more efficiency. This is as simple as that. So that's why you shouldn't get any other mantra. This mantra gives you attack speed. That's another reason you should get this one and not another one. Not even a defensive one, not even conviction. This one is the best and has been the best since season 5. Okay, well, now I'm gonna go through the skills. So nothing changed again. Basically you're invincible since you have gold wrap, okay? The mix between Avarice and gold wrap makes you invincible. I will show you during the rift. I will kill a pack with Molten and I will stay in Molten. So basically if you can tank a Molten Explosion, which is the biggest damage you will receive in this game, you can tank anything. Now I'm gonna go to the cube. So that's the big buff for season 12. I think it's from 50% or something like that to 550%. So basically this is mandatory as well. And the big thing thanks to this weapon is that it reduces the spirit of Wave of Light, which is great. So you don't have to have any cost reduction on your gear. Well, I have here, but I don't have the choice. But you don't want it now. You don't need it anymore. That's very efficient. Then either you put Nemesis here or Pinto. That's the same, either if it's in cube or equipped. Then Ring of Royal Grandeur. You don't have the choice for that. And about the skills, Mystic Allies, you want this one. Like this will give you just spirit regen. Honestly, you could use this one if you need DPS, maybe at the start of the season, but not even. I think it's more comfortable to have more spirit regen. Even if you get this helm with Spirit Regen instead of Vitality, that's better. It's quite hard to get, even after 3 months or even on non-season, but yeah, it's always better. So, mystically, this creates an AoE around when you cast Wave of Light, so that's of course the best one when you farm keys. Maybe while pushing, I didn't test yet, but the lightning version is better, more DPS, but this one is the best for to farm keys. Epiphany Insight, nothing changes, gives you a lot of Spirit Regen as well. This one on the Sweeping Winds, giving you Spirit Regen, not an option as well. As I explained, Dashing Strike, Radiance, and finally the Mantra. Then we go to the skills. Beacon is mandatory. This one is by far the best one, DPS wise, and when you want to move between packs. As a reminder, the more attack speed, the faster you are to move between packs. It reduces the dash internal cooldown, ICD. Then you want this one, since you will be moving all the time, that's 3 DPS for you. And the last one is optional, so either you go Determination, you could even take proc, but since you play with gold wrap, you don't need it. If you kill at the second you kill one mob, you will be tanky enough to remove the proc, so it's not really good. You could go this one, you could go Determination, but from my point of view, this one is the best one. Sometimes you don't have Ingeum proc, especially when you enter a rift, you don't have Ingeum proc. So, and imagine you lose Ingeum proc on the new maps, for example. It's quite hard sometimes to find an elite. So this one is the best, I think. About the gems, that's the last things, and maybe something which will be new for people. So as I said, we have 2 gems which will not be changed. This one, Boon of the Order, of course working with Avarice. And this one, the Trapped one, which is basically the DPS one. Then you have an option. Either you play, and I would recommend it, especially at the start of the season, you should play with Powerful. It gives a lot of DPS. That's basically on elites 35% DPS, and on trash, etc. That's really good. It's easy to get. It's the first one actually you should put before all the others. Once it's at level 25, it's really efficient. But seeing how things goes with Ratmarans, etc., it's really easy, really easy to get 2k Paragons on season now. Really easy. I think after 2 weeks you will be 2k or something like that. You don't have to play like crazy. 2k will be really easy to get, and especially if you empower your gear, augment your gear. I didn't. Well, it's non-season right now, but of course you will have enough DPS. So once you have enough DPS, you should go for Gogok. What Gogok gives? It gives cooldown reduction, which is always nice to refresh Epiphany, Mystically, etc. But especially, it will give you attack speed. So you drop DPS from Powerful, but you gain attack speed and efficiency. You dash faster, blah blah blah, always the same story. Thanks to Gogok. I was playing it last season, even before they buffed the incense, what's the name again? The incense torch of the Grand Temple. Even before they buffed that. But I was playing on T12 mostly. Now everyone will be, after 2 or 3 days, maybe the first day even, people will farm on T13. So that's optional. When you start in the first 2 weeks, I guess everyone will go for Powerful. But once you have enough DPS, you go for Gogok. Be the best. Okay, normally I explained everything, and I've been playing this build since at least 2 years. But if you have any question, you can ask me on YouTube or whatever, YouTube or Twitch or whatever. Just gonna farm some Rift now and put back the other. Well, unfortunately, I didn't have any Molten Pack, so we're just gonna do one more run. What is a shame as well, that's optional, but you could play with Kyoshiro instead of Gold Wrap. I explained that on Diablo fans. I mean, if you equip this belt, boom, you press Sweeping Winds, you're gonna have more stacks at start. Because, of course, thanks to this weapon, the more stacks you have, the more DPS you make. And at start, when you start with Gold Wrap, your DPS is quite low, since you don't benefit from the Sweeping Wind stacks. It's better overall, because you will be invincible after, let's say, kill some mobs, you're invincible. You're gonna see your toughness go like crazy after one blow. I can show you. It's already crazy, more than 1 billion. I think it's enough to tank Moltens. I need a Molten Pack just to show you how... Ah, perfect. Look at my life. Yeah, it doesn't move, and I stayed in Molten. That's why I'm a big fan of Gold Wrap since 4 or 5, especially when I was playing in hardcore. Okay, so to remind you, 2 things to aim, guys. Attack speed on your gear. You will have DPS. DPS won't be an issue, so instead of going for damages, you go for attack speed. You want to dash as fast as possible. And the second thing, if you can, which will not be the case if you push with the same gear, but I will advise monks, if you play monk a lot this season, try to get on secondary gold. Because gold will allow you to empower any rift during the season, and that's really important, especially at start when you make augments, when you start to make augments, etc. You need gold on your secondary. That's why Gold Wrap is really good. You can have it everywhere actually. Here, you can have it even on amulets, and that's why my lone gear is full of gold. And my lone gear is, from my point of view, I will explain it here. Actually, I still prefer to play as a lone. Why? Because if you play lone, that's basically the same. You have exactly the same gameplay, blah 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 blah. But it's really easy to get gold on your gear. Secondary gold here, secondary gold. You can have and benefit from the workshop gloves. They are fucking great, especially to keep empowered shrine and movement speed shrine, which is really good when you lack in geom, etc. When you have hard maps, that's really good. And for the gold, and Rabbit Strike is by far the best weapon in this game. Since now you have a lot of DPS thanks to the Incense Torch, Rabbit Strike is by far the best weapon, by far. Like when I'm farming keys, probably you won't do it at start of the season, but once you can switch 2k, 2.5k paragons, you should switch to lone. Especially with this weapon. This weapon is crazy. Like sometimes I'm going through the rift, I'm casting 1 wave of light at one point, and I check the chat, I see that my mimic from this weapon killed another pack. I wasn't even aiming the pack, but it killed it. So I'm clearing freakingly fast a rift when I play alone. It's even faster than before, thanks, because now I have the DPS. Well, if you have any question, feel free to join on Twitch, and you can comment on YouTube. You will have in link. You will have a link to Diablo fans on the YouTube video. Bye bye and have a good day. Là, normalement, ça coupe, ça coupe, ça coupe, c'est fini YouTube. So international, so international.